Hello friends, happy weekend. How are you? I'm having some amazing natural light right now, so I thought it would be a good time to record. So how are you? It is, wait, let me think. March 9th, yes. So we're a week out from EYF, which I am traveling to for the first time this year. So I want to talk about that. But I also want to talk about what I've been working on and my finished object. Oh, I always forget this. So, hey, my name is Shannon Bellum. Welcome new viewers, if you're a new viewer, and welcome returning viewers. I want to say that I really, really appreciate my viewers. I really appreciate all the comments that I get from my viewers, and thank you. Thank you for encouraging me to keep doing this, and thank you for the dialogue that we have. I really, really enjoy it. And I think one of my regular viewers lives in Edinburgh, so please get in touch with me. I would love to meet up, maybe get a cup of tea or wine or something, scotch. So please do get in touch with me if you're watching. If any of you live in Scotland and are planning to go to EYF, please get in touch with me. I'd love to be able to see you. I'm planning to go to the marketplace on Thursday, and I had been signed up for a class. I just got a notice this morning that it was canceled. Yeah, sadly, so I will get my money back, but sadly there's no other classes for me to take. They're all full. They had nothing else to offer me. But yeah, I'm still going. Everything's booked, and the only thing I've got to do, I want to book, is I want to do a distillery tour. My son and I love Scotch. One of my sons is going with me, my Scotch-loving son. And my travel-loving son will be coming with me. So we're gonna book a tour, and I need to get that booked, and I've got to do a luggage storage thing for the morning that we arrive, because we won't be able to check into our Airbnb until the afternoon. So but yeah, otherwise we're all set. Everything is I could pack, except for this whip right here. I could pack today. Thinking about it. No, I'll probably wait till next weekend. So the next time you see me, I'll be back from EYF, and my next episode may be slightly more than 2 weeks. But if you want to keep up with my Edinburgh travels, follow me on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, find me on Instagram and follow me, and I'll be sharing. Probably won't be doing too many stories because I'm really not that tech savvy with Instagram. I really don't know how to do stories very well, but a lot of pictures, and if I can figure out stories on the fly, I will. I'll be putting those up. But yeah, that's the best thing to do. So yes, anyway, this is a podcast about knitting and yarn and yarny things and designing, knitwear designing, because I'm a knitwear designer, as well as a university professor, and all the yarny things we're going to talk about. I have maybe a little bit of a bumper episode. So let's get started. So I have a finished object. It is my Winterfell cardigan. I will put a full body picture in of me wearing it so you can see it. I used stranded Dyeworks. I think I have yes. I have the pattern, and so here's the pattern. Has a little crease in it from me carrying it around. It's by Katrin Schneider. Katrin. And I use stranded Dyeworks Merino Aran. 100% superwash Merino Aran. I bought 6 skeins, and I only used, I want to say 4 and change. think I have a little more than a skein left. I did alternate skeins, which is why I'm hesitating on how much I had left. So I did alternate skeins throughout the entire piece. I don't know if I really needed to. It's kind of a light color, but I didn't want it to pool. And when I caked all my skeins, I lay them out in natural light to see if I can see any differentiation between the colors. And I could see a little bit. I think 1 or 2 skeins were a little bit more red than the others. So I didn't get any pooling at all. I got some really nice, you can see some striping on there. I also alternated on the sleeves, which I usually don't do, but for this sweater, it seemed like that would be the way to go. And I've worn it a bit, so you can see there's a little bit of pilling, not much though. I am planning to take this to EYF to wear. I'm actually gonna wear it on the plane because it's a heavyweight sweater. I made one modification from the pattern. I didn't do the hip increases, and I'm really glad I didn't. I'm gonna stand up and show you why. It's loose around the hip, and I very definitely have a bigger hip measurement than I do bust measurement, but you know, there's enough positive ease in there that I didn't really think, see all of that? I didn't really think that I needed the hip increases. So I don't know what that is right there. Maybe it's just a spot where I changed the skein. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with the way it came out. It's pretty heavy. I don't know if it will probably be more for the intense winter months here. The buttons came out amazing. I mean, I love the way that they look on the sweater. If you've been watching my episodes, you'll know that I have been talking about these buttons for a long time. I got the buttons before I even cast on the sweater. I bought them in January when I went in for Vogue Knitting Live. I went into New York City. So also, if you do want to know more, I'm not going to reiterate the button tail, but if you're curious about that, all of my projects on Ravelry, I'm very good about keeping my Ravelry pages up to date. And I also just found out today that Josie Locatelli is very good about keeping her Ravelry page up to date, project page up to date as well. So that was cool. It was a cool discovery, which I guess is just, you know, her habit from before she even designed. But it was interesting to see what she's working on, because I was realizing that everything that she talked about in her latest episode, she had project pages for, so that was great. Nice way to see the yarn in case you miss it, you know, in the episode and you're like, oh, wait, what was that? You can just go to her project page and it's right there. Same for me too, if you miss anything about the yarn. So what I was gonna say, in the project pages, in my notes section, I write in the notes section which episodes the whips and finished objects are being talked about in. So you can go to the project page that I made for this sweater and see when I first talked about it, and then each subsequent episode where I talked about it. Generally, most of my projects are in 2 or 3 episodes at most. A few of them have, you know, continued to show up just because they are taking a while for me to complete. So yeah, this is my finished object. Oh, drinking David's tea. It's morning here in northern New Jersey. I also want to tell you that I will be pushing very hard on myself this week to get this pattern published. This is a design by me. This is called New York Laneway. I'll put a picture in here because I realize it's tough to see on screen, but it's a striped and color blocked pullover with a sort of, not really trapeze shape, but it has hip increases that really are meant to make it quite loose and baggy, but in a nice way, in a flattering way. There are flattering hip increases that begin just below your bra line and go down and give you extra ease around the bottom. So the rib is meant to not hug your hip line. it will kind of loosely drape around it. So I'm planning to publish this before I go to EYF. I'm going to push myself to, my testers are far enough along that I can, with confidence, put the pattern out into the world. And all I need to do is the pattern layout and, you know, just like do the graphic design piece of the published pattern. So I'm planning to get that done next weekend and publish this pattern just before I go to EYF. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm gonna actually wear this too while I'm there. I'm planning to buy, I don't know if you've paid any attention to, or if you follow Stephen West. I think he's got like 200,000 followers, I think, or 150, whatever. He has a massive number of followers. So chances are good that you know of him and follow him. So he and his partner, his yarn store partner, I think her name is Malia, they just came out with a yarn called Westwool. And my first thought was, oh boy, here we go, like gimmicky yarn. But he did a live. I love his lives, his Instagram lives. I find them so entertaining and informative. Like I feel like I get to kind of soak in his energy and his ethos and stuff. I just love it. So whenever he has a live, whether I'm watching it live or I'm watching it after he's done and it's posted, I always jump in and see it. So anyway, they came up with this yarn they're calling Westwool that's being sold out of their yarn shop in Amsterdam. And again, thought it was just kind of this gimmicky, here's this incredibly popular and well-established designer making a wool line, making a line of yarn. Yeah, okay. But you know what? On one of his lives, he talked about the yarn and I became very intrigued. It's very breed specific and it's a non-superwash, which I'm all about the non-superwash these days. So yeah, I think it looked really interesting. And of course his color sense is really cool and cutting edge, and you know, the way he combines color I find very inspiring. So I'm excited about that yarn, and I'm gonna buy some to make a bright colored version, because when I talked about this in my last episode, this sweater, I was talking about how bright colors would look really nice in it. So this is very neutral. Oh, and this is cashmere. This is Clinton Hill cashmere, which, you know, I realize that it's a very luxurious yarn brand and not in everyone's wheelhouse in terms of what you can spend on a project. So I'm completely interested to see how this will look in other yarns. One of my testers did it in an alpaca blend and it worked just fine, and another one did it in a superwash yarn, but I want to see how it looks in a non-superwash yarn. And also I want another one because this is such a flattering, wonderful design, and I'm super proud of it. I'm just really, really proud of it. I really think it's one of my best written patterns and also one of my best designs. I just think it's really, really wearable on a number of body types. And you know, I do wish my testers were a little more public with their, like not everyone keeps project pages and stuff, and I have a hard time attracting and keeping testers, so I'm just thrilled that anybody wants to test my patterns. So I'm not a Stephen West. I'm far from it. So I don't push them to create project pages or anything like that. And so for that, I apologize. Like that's just kind of the way it is in my neck of the woods. And as I've said before, if anyone's interested in testing, just DM me. The test for this is past, but if you're interested in any of my upcoming designs, I have 4 designs in the works for this year, with a 5th one that I haven't quite worked out all the details on. So there is more. There's always something coming off my needles that I could use a little help with. So more about that later. Okay, so finished object, new pattern being published this week. Oh, and I'll be putting that pattern out with a 20% discount for at least a week, at least the week that I'm away, maybe into the following week too, until up through my next episode. So but if you follow me on Instagram, you'll get the 411 on all of that. Okay, works in progress. So this is the Ingrid pullover by Isabell Kraemer. And I am on Sleeve Island. I actually just bound off the body today, and I'm really not that pleased with the way, you see that little, like, I don't know if you can see it from there. Maybe if I turn her. You see? Look. See that bump? I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know if it's because I have color work here and then I did ribbing. I mean, I'm hoping this'll in blocking, this'll do what it's supposed to do and really act like a rib. I think I should have gone down another needle size. Like, so I knit this in size 5, US size 5, 3.75 millimeter, and you go down one size to 3.5 or 4, US size 4. I should have done a size 3, 3.25 millimeter needle instead. So I'll probably do that on the sleeve cuffs just because, yeah, I like the rib to fit. I don't want it to, on a sweater like this, I don't really want it to hang like this. Anyway, I love it though. Don't you love the color work? I was, all through knitting it, I was a little hesitant, like perhaps the colors I chose for up here were a little too bright for this very almost grayed green moss. And look at all the colors. So the light is really perfect right now. You're getting to see all the different colors in the wool. So this, I had said that this reminded me of lichen or mosses that you would see on rocks. Like all these pretty colors. So there's a little bit of lavender in there, a little bit of like a briny green color. There's like a seafoam green in there, and then there's some dark green. So I bought this yarn. Oh, let me talk to you about the yarn. I bought Little Grey Sheep. I bought this yarn last year. I want to say I bought it around September, but I could check my my notes on that. It is the Little Grey Sheep, which is a Yorkshire farm, and she's a Surrey, Hampshire borders. Small farm on Surrey, Hampshire borders. I used her Stein fine wool. The sheep are raised and sheared at Christmas before being tucked into the barn. And then it is washed and spun in Yorkshire and spun by John Arbin in Devon, and then it comes back to the farm to be dyed by Emma, who's the owner. So this is the body yarn. It's called The Weather's Up. I bought 3 skeins. I actually think I'm going to be able to finish this in 2 skeins. I alternated skeins because I had one skein that was really much brighter than the other skeins, the other 2 skeins. This is a full skein. I bought 3 skeins. I still have this full skein, and I have about half of this skein and a little dab of this skein. But I have a feeling this is going to be enough for the sleeves. I was going to alternate, but with these 2 skeins, they're so close in color, I don't think there's any advantage, right? I mean, maybe this one's a little darker. Maybe it's just the angle that you're seeing them on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to alternate. And I hope that this doesn't look completely different. I guess on the sleeves it won't matter. Yeah. So besides those 3 skeins, which it looks like I'm going to have a full extra skein, I also bought a batch of minis. It was 5, same type of wool, Stein wool, fine wool, Stein wool, fine wool mini set. So it was 5 colors, which you're seeing here. There were 3 shades of green, which are all down here. There's a mid-tone green that pops right in there. I don't think you can really see it, and I didn't bring the color over. And yellow, and then turquoise, like a turquoisey color. So I'll put a close-up picture in so you can see the pattern up close. That's easier than undressing Martha right now. So yeah, I bought the mini skeins and this yarn together. When they came, I was like, awesome, they look so good. And then as I was knitting it, I had doubt. But now that I see it, I love it. Absolutely love it. I think it looks really awesome. I'm so excited. I'm intending, shouldn't even say hoping, because I'm absolutely intending to finish this week with just 2 sleeves left to go, and the sleeves are already partially knit. I find that knitting a sleeve takes me about 2 evenings of sitting on the couch after work. So I have a full week before we go, so I should be fine. I have the rest of tomorrow, which is Sunday, and then I have 5 weeknights, and then a whole nother weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So, well, I will probably need to get it on the blocking mat by Friday or Saturday next week at the latest to get it blocked in time. But I don't think I'll have any trouble. I think it'll go really fast. I don't think with this pattern, I'll show you really quickly. I don't think with the pattern there's any, yeah, there's no action happening on that sleeve. So I did change the bottom though. I think she had us do a garter stitch bottom with a partial ribbing on the side, and I just decided to do a full, there's a close-up of the pattern, a full 1x1 rib, and the sleeves end in 1x1 rib. So again, this is the Ingrid pullover by Isabell Kraemer. Yeah, really happy with it. Really loving it. So with that extra skein, I may look at Little Grey Sheep while I'm in EYF and see if there's something I can, maybe I can pick up a couple other skeins or a skein and a mini skein set to make something else. So I'll see what I find. I do like to do that. I do like to take the yarn that I have, my leftover yarns, and try to utilize them into something else. That's actually how New York Laneway was made. I had bought cashmere to make another sweater and ended up with 2.5 extra skeins, which in the cashmere, that's over $100 worth of yarn. So I bought a little bit more to make, and then using the yarn that I had left over, utilizing what I had left over completely, I was able to create this sweater. Okay, other whips. So besides this one, I've been, oh my gosh, it's been hard for me to put this next whip down to work on this, even though like I have the deadline looming over me. This piece right here is the only one the only thing I've wanted to knit. And I sat down on Monday. We had a snowstorm, so I sat down Monday. I was home from work, working from home, and I tried to get this far enough along that I wanted to get it to the armpits because it's a top-down knit. So, and I didn't quite get it there. I'm actually maybe only about halfway there, but all right, there you go. This is a pullover by Josée Paquin called the Donna pullover. It is knit top down, so you're seeing that little red stitch marker is my center front right here. And I am working it in a fingering weight, it's a fingering weight sweater, raglan sleeve with 1 stripe pattern that goes on the sleeves, that happens on the sleeves. It might be easier to show you on this side. So there's 1 stripe pattern, this is the sleeve, that happens on the sleeve, and then the front, the body has a different stripe pattern, so you can see the really thin yellow stripes right there. And then these have much wider stripes. So the sweater's called the Donna pullover. Let me show you the pattern page. Okay, there we go. So that's it. It's got a short tail hem as well. It's really cute. I like it. It's a nice, the fingering weight is probably the weight of sweater, my favorite weight of sweater to wear. I prefer to knit DK weight, but in terms of wearability, fingering weight is the way to go. So I'd been switching to knitting more DK weight just because I especially in my design work, I realize that that's something that is appealing to more people. But I don't know, I think I'm going to be switching back to more towards fingering weight, at least for my next, well, I have 2 sport weight designs planned and 1 fingering weight. And I think I have 1 DK? Oh, nope, fingering. 2 sport weight, 2 fingering. Oh, and then 1 DK, that the one I haven't figured out quite yet, but I have a good idea. I just need to do some swatching. That one I'm not going to talk about probably until it's done. All right, anyway, so I've been just really loving this. You do work it, you can see that it's open, so you work the top in the flat, and I was really finding myself a little annoyed with like, and look at all the, like, so you're color blocking, so you see all the strands. So each section, the main body color in each section is dangling from it. So this section's yellow, this one's pink, this one's yellow, this one's pink. And I was finding myself a little annoyed with the fact that we were knitting flat. And so I was thinking to myself, wow, you know what? I can join it in the round. I think I know how to do this. But then I was realizing that if you knit it in the round, if you knit this part in the round, like the body, it's different because you're going to just keep, you're going to knit all the way around. And then when you come back, and the stripe color will be there for you to pick up and carry around. This though, if I knit it in the round, the yellow, as I knit here, when I come back around, my yellow yarn is on the wrong side. So I understand why we're doing it in the flat. I really love the yarn, which I'm going to tell you what it is in a second, but I just want to show you, look at the way this pink is. This pink is gorgeous. It's got like this, it's a very delicate baby, like ballet shoes pink with this bolder, dirtier pink striping through it, or like, you know, mixed in with it. I think the Dyeworks, see it there? And I'm not alternating skeins because, I mean, this is enough to manage. I didn't want to have to also manage alternating skeins. I don't think it's going to make a difference. I'm not really getting pooling. I mean, I'm getting a little bit of stripe effect, but I don't mind it. I really like it. The yarn, the pink yarn, is this right here. It's by Sweet Sparrow Yarns, and the color is called Queenie. She no longer dyes it as far as I'm aware. She may, I mean, who knows if she'd go back to it. Sweet Sparrow Yarns is a local to me dyer. She is, there's her, she's got an Instagram presence, and I believe she sells on Etsy. And this is her MCN base, which she calls Gosling. All her bases have bird names. 400 yard put up with 100 grams. And anyway, I bought this yarn 2 years ago, and I had intended to use it on an original design, and then I just really had trouble making myself work on it. I was working away on other things and just didn't want to do it. So I decided after it sat for 2 years to just frog it and use the yarn for something else, because I love these colors together. I had bought these colors to use together. My yellow yarn is, you're not seeing it as bright as it actually is on screen. So it's much brighter, more a little more golden colored, I'd say. And it is by, it's also an MCN. It's by Baah. The yarn company is called Baah. The base is called Savannah. MCN 400 yard put up again, and the color is Lemonade. And I believe this is in her regular, yeah, there we go. In her regular group of colors, because it's a very solid yellow. I don't see even any tonality in there. It's just a solid yellow color. And no, I'm not seeing any evidence of color striping or anything in the yellow sections. So, but this sweater I had, when I first cast it on in January, I was thinking to myself, like, wow, this is what I'm really, this is the type of thing that I would reach for on a chilly spring day, because we get a lot of really cold spring days. Like our summer really doesn't start, we don't really get warm weather until June here in this region that I live in. So it's still sweater weather, and even in the office it's sweater weather, though I tend to wear more cardigans, more fingering weight cardigans in the summer office. So so yeah, I thought to myself, like, this color mix is just gonna be so cute for springtime with like maybe some white jeans, or yeah, even just regular jeans to wear to the office for a little extra layer of warmth. So I've just been obsessing about this. So this is probably going to be on my needles for my flight to Scotland, and then I'm going to bring 2 projects, probably this sweater because I don't think it'll get done, and a shawl that is also like a 2 skein shawl project that I haven't showed you in a long time. So yes, that my last whip, which it's a DK weight cardigan. I worked on it for a while. It is part of my Make 9. Oh, that's a Make 9 too. The Donna, this is a Make 9. This will be what I'm wearing is one of my Make 9s, my second Make 9. This is my third Make 9. The Donna pullover is my 4th Make 9, and this cardigan that I'm about to show you is my 5th Make 9. So I think I said in my Make 9 video that it was probably enough knitting for me to get through June with, which it seems to be working out that way, though I have some new acquisitions that plans are beginning to gel for. All right, so I am making the Aileas, I believe that is pronounced Alice. One of my viewers told me when I talked about this is my Make 9 cardigan by Isabell Kraemer. So I love Isabell Kraemer. Isabell Kraemer and Josie Locatelli are probably my 2 favorite designers. I just like their aesthetic. It speaks to my aesthetic. It's things, stuff that I want to do, things that I want to make. So I did knit this last weekend, I cast on and knit up to the armpit last weekend. And I am using this beautiful sheepy wool by Green Mountain Spinnery. It is a DK base. This is a DK weight sweater. Look at that. Oh my God. Isn't it so good? Am I alternating skeins? I think I was, but now I think I decided I didn't need to alternate skeins. I think I was alternating in the back. But look at that cable detail that goes down the front. It's so cute. So I'm got down to the separation for the sleeves, and I'm now knitting on the body. It's you knit back and forth. This little cable detail appears down the center front, and then there's also a cable detail in the back, and I think, no, not on the sleeves. Oh, by the pockets. There's the same, she calls it a mock cable, I think, in the pattern, but you very definitely are twisting. It's a real cable in that you are crisscrossing stitches, but it's just 1 stitch to crisscross. So with this sheepy wool, I don't really need to use a cable needle, though sometimes I don't know. I guess I'm sort of a chicken about losing stitches. I don't know why, because I don't find it that challenging to pick them up, but nevertheless, I do use them. So, but yeah, I'm super happy with this. Let me tell you, show you the yarn label, which I believe I have here. Yeah, so like I said, Green Mountain Spinnery. It's the Mewesic base, 100% fine American wool. It is about a 50 gram put up, so 58 grams actually, 180 yards. I purchased this yarn at Rhinebeck in the Green Mountain Spinnery booth, and I bought 6 skeins of it. So, and after I cast on, I had a little bit of a panicky moment where I realized that, because this is almost 2 skeins that I've used here. So this skein is almost used up, and then I used I guess I would say it's probably closer to say this is about 1 skein. I used probably about 1/3 of this skein, but I probably have about 1/3 left. I haven't weighed them, but I'm guessing that's about it. But I started to realize that I was not going to have enough yarn to make this sweater. And also as I was matching the yardage, it wasn't working out. So I panic ordered 2 skeins. Thank God Green Mountain had it. So that's what made me stop working on this, because I set this down so that I would get my 2 skeins, my 2 more skeins of this yarn. Because I thought if it varied greatly off of the dye lot, I did not want to, I wanted to make sure that I was working those off dye lots into the knit so that it wasn't as noticeable in terms of the color. And they came in and they perfectly match the dye lot colors that I have. I have 2 of the, yes, 6. The original 6 that I bought, 2 of them are slightly more yellow. They're more of an orangey red than the other 4, but the 2 that I got match the other 4. So I just have to be careful with those 2 skeins, which I think one of them I've used here, and the other one, I have the other one sitting over there. So yeah, that is my other whip. And I would bring this to EYF, only it's to knit on. It's just a bulkier sweater, so bringing the yarn will take more space. So I'm more interested in bringing like a fingering weight pattern instead. Okay, yes, those are my whips. Those are my whips. And those will be what will consume me for the rest of this week, especially this one. And I think when I get done with this one, probably what I'm gonna mostly work on is the Donna pullover. Okay, I got some yarn. I got a little bit, just a little bit. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I have been really trying to knit my stash, because I have quite a big, this is my stash cabinet right here. You can't see it too well, but you can see some of my spin cycle yarn up there. And then I mean, most of my yarn fits there, but also this dresser that's behind Martha, it's a low, long dresser, has yarn in it as well. And what is really driving me bananas with my yarn, to be frank, is the amount of scrap that I have. It's so much scrap, but all right, save that thought. I'll come back to it. First, I want to show you the yarn I bought. So I decided to, Ulan in Ireland, the Irish dyer. It's called Ulan. Ulan. She had a mystery bag sale, and you guys all know, if you know me, you know I like a good mystery bag. And she's one of the dyers. There's probably about 5 or 6 dyers that whose yarn I say to them, make whatever you want. I will love it. I know I'll love it. There are just a handful of dyers that I feel that way about. So and what was cool about her mystery bags was that you were able to tell her, give her specifics, give her some notes about what it is you were looking for. And so what I have been destashing have been all my single bases. I don't really want to have singles. I don't want to knit with singles anymore, because I have a pretty large collection now of fingering weight shawls. And I feel like that's pretty much all singles are good for. I mean, I have used them in sweaters. I have 2 sweaters on the needles that I haven't shown today, but I've cast them on that are using singles. But singles don't wear so well in sweaters, and you know, so I just don't want to stash singles anymore. So yes, I'll knit what I have, trying to sell some of them. So if you're interested, if you want singles to make some shawls, please look at my destash page. I'm running some really good sales on my cheaper than you can buy from direct from the vendor. I've got some great colors. They're beautiful, beautiful skeins. Just as I said, I'm just not feeling the single space. So I was able to tell Ulan that I didn't want any singles. I would take anything else but just no singles. And so the pile of yarny goodness that I got is just, I gasped when I opened my package. And I ordered 2 bags, and she had said that it would be she had listed all the yarns that it could possibly be, and she was really going to be pulling from a lot, like she has, I don't know, it seems like she's got about 7 or 8 bases, and so she was pulling from all those bases. So all I said was no singles, but anything else was not off. So this is what I got. There were 3 skeins per bag. I'm going to show you some of them up close in a sec. This one, oh my God, this one. Whoops, I just dropped one. This one, look at this. Most of these were one-of-a-kinds that she had made for, I guess, for clubs and, or maybe, you know, other experimentation. But oh my goodness, look at that green in this skein. You're really not seeing the brightness of this color. It's a little bit slightly brighter than what you're seeing on screen. But wow, this one I was just like, oh my God. And I'm not really a huge gold person, but this one, this is a special skein. What she mostly sent me was her sock light base, which is at 80-20 superwash 20% nylon, 425 meters on 100 grams. And then the other one that really made me gasp was this beautiful mohair skein. I mean, multicolor. I just loved it. Love, love, love. This color is called, I think this is one of her regular colors, Count Me In. 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, 50 grams, 450 meters. So this will also, gotta let that marinate and think about what that will be. And then, I forget how the packages were arranged, but out of the 6, I got 2 that are pretty similar, and I think these came in 2 different packages. So this really beautiful coral color, which is just on point with this year's Pantone color of the year. It's just gorgeous with a little touch of green. Just really, really love the way that she speckles and the way her yarn knits up. And this is another one-of-a-kind. These are all one-of-a-kinds. This one's a little bit deeper, so you can see, but these two would actually go really well together. They're very complementary. They'd make a nice gradient. But I don't know if I'll use them that way. I also, you know, I love me some black speckles. Look at those black speckles, both of them. The camera's so funny, the way it focuses. Yeah, so those, yum. I got this. This is another color that's in her regular cycle, or what am I trying to say? Her regular lineup. And this is called Home Soil. So I've seen this before. Again, the sock light base. It's a little bit brighter than what you're seeing on screen, but go there. So I know I can get more of this. So this I may end up buying more of down the road to knit a bigger project instead of using this as a complementary skein. And the last one I got is a sport base, which is interesting because I am making 2 designs in a sport base. So this may find its way in my designs, I'm not sure. Though what I'm working with is 100% merino, not merino. Oh, this is 100% merino too. It's superwash though. But I'm using non-superwashes for my design, but beautiful color, right? I love the hidden neutral in there, the pop of neutral, pop of like creamy white with gold and brown in it, and again more black. She's got black speckles. I felt like she really paid attention too, because she wrote me a cute little note. And said thank you for your lovely comments. So I feel like she pays attention to what you buy. Maybe I'm overthinking that, I'm not sure. And I also have been stalking this other yarn dyer, indie yarn dyer, trying to get some of her yarn because I had very definite buying regrets from Vogue Knitting Live. So I purchased a sweater's quantity of cat sandwich fiber yarn, and this one is called Garden Tea Party. So I have 3 skeins. It's really gorgeous. It's got this beautiful seafoam color in there, and a little bit of peach with fuchsia speckles, and I think you can see that it's a sparkle base, so it has a tiny amount of sparkle in it. And I think what I want to do, I actually may cake this weekend. This might come with me to EYF depending on how far I get with the Donna pullover. I think what I'm going to do with this is make it into, use the Elton cardigan, which I'll pop a picture here on screen. It's a Hohe Locatelli pattern, which I already own and I've made a sweater out of using the pattern. I think I'm going to make that pattern, that silhouette, in this yarn. I'm not going to stripe it though. I'm just going to do solid. Though, now that I've said that, that could be pretty awesome. But I don't think so. This, I would love to see this maybe with something very solid, like something like that, but not green necessarily. Maybe that. I don't know. Yeah, because I don't know if I'd want to put a speckle mohair with a speckle yarn. Anyway, I love this yarn, and to my point about what I just said about wearing fingering weight sweaters all summer in my office, because my office is quite chilly with the air conditioner. I just think this needs to just be a fingering weight cardigan that I can throw on in the summer. It's just gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful spring to summer colors, and I just think it'll look amazing. So I am planning to cake this week and do a swatch at the very least. And the sparkle in it is so subtle. I've said many times I'm not a sparkle girl, though I do have a couple sparkle sweaters. I just don't tend to wear them, but it's so subtle. I think it's gonna be great. I really do. Super excited. All right, those are my acquisitions. And other than that, I just want to share some of the other like busy work I did. Things for sorry, just checking the time on my camera. Things that that are brewing in my head. I did a couple swatches of future design work. So it goes this way. So what I've done here is I've done a yarn over and knit two together to help me keep track of needle size, because that's always I always know where the yarn is from when I see this swatch, but I'm not always sure what needle size I use. So in case I don't get to this till later on in the late spring or summer, I don't have to second guess what needle size I used. So I just do that quick. I think I used a size 5 on this. Yeah, so there's 5 holes right there. But the stitch is this cute, I think it's called mistake rib pattern, and it looks identical front and back, just like garter, which is pretty cool. I like that. I like that. I like that it looks the same on the front and back. So I did the same pattern, same stitch pattern, using 2 different yarns. This is Plucky Knitter's Sport Weight Primo Sport, which is an MCN base. I think it has like 20% cashmere. I'll pop the yarn information on screen. Really like this. This was one I bought at Vogue Knitting Live. This one I've had for a while. This is not a Plucky Knitter. This is a Qing Fibre yarn, Sport Weight. That I don't, at least at the time I bought this 2 years ago. At the time that I bought this yarn, I bought a sweater's quantity. It's her colorway called Panda, and it's got a little bit of this Panda was a tweed, so you see how there's a constant black thread that goes through the whole piece, black and white thread that's being, so the white yarn picked up the color the way she did the color. And I have hang on, I'll show you it caked. So that's it caked. So it's a very multicolor. I'm actually surprised when you look at it here versus the way it knits up. It's much more gray black on the swatch than it is in the skein. Like the skein seems a little more white, colorful than this does. So anyway, sweater's quantity, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. I've had plans for this yarn for like different plans that have changed. Like my plans have just continued to evolve with this yarn, and as I was saying, I don't think this sport base is a normal long-standing base that Layla uses in Qing. Qing is a UK-based indie dyer, and she's pretty big now. Like at the time that I bought this, she was a very small dyer, I think doing all the work herself, and now she has staff. So when you have staff, you know you're big. So yeah, I think now I know what I'm going to make with that. I was trying to for a little while there, I was trying to sort of make the sport weight fit into a fingering weight idea that I had, and it just wasn't gelling. But now I think I'm good. And these two yarns these two different these will be related patterns, like similar, different yet related patterns that I'll be doing, like silhouettes. I may release them together as one pattern. I'm gonna figure it out as I go, but I don't anticipate these being released until early summer at the earliest. This will probably be something that I'll work on when I'm back from EYF. Well, very definitely, since I won't be working on it this week. Yeah. And then the last thing that I just want to share with you, goes back to my scrap conversation. Because I've made several DK weight sweaters, I've ended up with some DK weight scraps, and I thought to myself, is there a DK weight shawl out there maybe I can combo up? Because I tend to sort of stay in the same, like, though I love color and I love all different colors, I kind of stay in the same color groupings. So the colors are all very complementary to each other. At least I have like a group, like I'll have a group of blues and greens. I have a group of grays and black and cream. And I have the warm tone colors too, oranges, pinks, and deep reds. So hopefully you'll be able to see this well. Okay, yes, you can see this perfectly. So this is a little grouping of some scraps of reds and oranges that I have. So these three. So these two, this top two, this orange one here, this very bright one, and this dark one over here, were in a sweater pattern that I designed and released in the fall called Uncle Vanya's Cardigan. But I have a significant amount, especially of this deep dark red. See the, yeah, I should take it out, right? Because you'll see it better. I love this idea now of, like, I realized that, look at that, this like blood color. And then this is a highly speckled orangey pink from Garn Stories. This is a Countess Ablaze color called Vladimir. And then this last one is the leftover yarn. I made a hat for one of my sons for Christmas, and I have a significant amount. So I found myself a pattern. I went on Ravelry and searched for DK weight shawl. So I figured, you know, and I have this little collection of these bright reds and oranges. I mean, look how good those look. And I found that Stephen West actually published a pattern in January, a DK weight pattern, using 4 colors, and I have more than enough yarn. So like I went and opened up my scrap drawer. I was like, let me just see. I have all this DK weight leftover yarn. Let me just see what I can make out of it. See if I have enough. I have enough. These are enough for these 3. And then I decided to add, I had bought this, I had accidentally purchased this baby suri, this melted baby suri from Qing Fibre in the UK dyer I was talking about before. I subscribed to her baby suri club without really knowing what it was, and I ended up getting a bunch. I've sold some. But I kept some. This is one of the skeins that I ended up keeping because I just thought it was so pretty. Why not? But that's going to be one of my colors. So I actually think I'm probably going to do the colors. No. Probably going to, no, this. Probably going to do the colors like in this order. So I'm going to show you the shawl too. I'll pop the shawl on. And then I think I'm going to do it this way. So I think that's the way I'll do it. I could swap these two if I really want to go light to dark. I have to look at the pattern a little more closely and see, because there are some textured stitches. I don't want to lose the texture with this textured yarn, and I feel like Stephen West would approve of this. But yeah, isn't that funny? So these are leftovers from finished projects. That's enough for a shawl, and I guarantee you I could keep going through that scrap drawer and put together enough scraps that would make other projects. Certainly shawls, like any shawls I make in this year, besides the one that's already, the 2 that are already on my needles, I'm using scraps because that drawer over there is driving me bananas. And I also I was thinking, playing with the idea of maybe grouping my scraps by color and putting them together in 100-gram bags and offering those up for sale in a de-stash, like maybe on eBay or something, just to get them gone and do like a $5 minimum. Because I'm sure there's people out there who would love to get their hands on some of the indie dyed scraps that I have if they're, you know, if they're doing scrappy projects or even like scrappy socks. Since I'm not a sock knitter, that would be ideal to do a bunch of scrappy sock patterns, because there's probably enough to do. Like you could probably even combine like 2 colors and get your socks done. So anyway, thoughts. If you're interested in purchasing scrap bags from me, DM me, let me know, because I'm happy to dialogue with you about what colors you're looking for and put together some things that might please you and shipping those out to you. All right, I think that wraps it up. So again, thank you so much for spending time with me, and please like and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. But even if you are a subscriber, like the video. The more likes and the more comments I get, actually, the more my video gets into the circulation of YouTube's algorithm, and that'll really help me get in front of a few other people and maybe get a few more subscribers. And who knows, I might hit 500 soon. When I hit 500, I'm doing a giveaway, so I'm pretty close. I'm only, I think, about 25 people away or so. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your week. I'm looking forward to sharing Edinburgh Yarn Festival with you next time, showing you my purchases, talking to you about it, showing you some clips, all of that good stuff. All right, take care. Bye.